We are joined by Kevin Harvick, driver of the number 4 Busch Light Ford, who finished 5th today, but will be moving on to Miami to contend for his second Monster Energy Series title as a member of the Championship 4. Kevin, just talk a little bit about what it means to move on to contend for another title.
It means a lot, especially this year, switching everything from our manufacturer to Ford, and just seeing the steady climb of performance and peaking as the playoffs started and running good on really every racetrack that we've been to, and this has by far been our best round, all 3 top 5s and a win. So it's the right time of year to be peaking. I feel really good about our mile-and-a-half program. Homestead's been a great racetrack for us through the years, and hopefully we can go down there and contend. So I think for us, I think you're really happy with where you are, just for the fact of I think as a company we know what we went through and kind of playing on house money at this point. So we're going to go down there and wing it, see what happens.
All right, we're going to open up to questions. We'll start in the back with Jenna.
Kevin, earlier this week, Tony said about you, he said, it's something to the effect of, I've seen this script before, and when Kevin goes down to Homestead, and he thinks that the championship's over, that you're going to go down there and be a killer and win it. Is it that easy, or is it that easy for you?
We have every intention of doing that. Our intention is to go down there and win the championship, and I think if you're one of those 4 and you don't have that mentality, you're not prepared for what you're getting into, because it's I feel like you're going to have to win the race. You're going to have to not make mistakes, and we've seen it year after year. Mistakes and circumstances and things happen, and you have to be you have to be there first. You have to have a chance, and you have to think you can do it, and we know we can do it, and I think there's 3 past champions and a guy that's run well all year and won a lot of races. So it's not like it's going to be just check the box and send the check. It's guys that have done this before and won races, and but for us, we're confident in our team and feel like we should have a chance.
As you noted, the 3 champions and Truex, from the mental toughness aspect that is required to win a championship, is this maybe the strongest field? Like there's nobody really out there that can be rattled?
I wouldn't say that it's the strongest field, because I think as you look at the past, and if I'm not mistaken, I know the 78's been there before, the 18's been there before, obviously. I don't know if Brad has been there or not in this particular format, but it's it's not something that that these guys are just going to cave in and give up on what they're doing. They've all won 3 of them. 3 of us have won championships, and Martin's won a lot of races this year. So the pressure's really on the 78 and the 18. Those guys have dominated the year, and I feel like if they don't win at this point, they would probably feel like they've had a letdown. So it's a lot of fun coming from behind and playing catch up and kind of playing that underdog role is much easier than being expected to go down there and win. We expect to win.
Sorry. Do we have any final questions for Kevin? All right, Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll continue with our media availabilities. We're joined by Chase Elliott, driver of the number 24 Hooters Chevrolet, who is a second-place finisher in today's race. Chase, so close once again. Why don't you just take us through the end of the race there for us?
Yeah, we our car was really fast on those short runs after the rubber got picked up, and we had struggled to be super tight on the long haul, and kept taking off really good and was able to kind of work our way forward. And I gave everything I had to try to get a big enough gap so that I could try to keep Matt back there, and tried for everything I had, and it wasn't enough. So I felt like I gave my 110% today, and although very disappointed, again, to be so dang close to winning and having a chance to race for a championship. So learning the hard way, I guess, in some ways, but it's hopefully make me a better person and make us better down the road.
All right, we'll take questions for Chase. We're going to start upstairs in the press box and then go to Bob.
Yeah, one question for Chase. Wolfgang Monza, Rennsport Press Agency. Chase, you just said a minute ago you gave 110%. when Matt Kenseth closed the gap to you in the final stages. Can you let me know where exactly he had the advantage? Was there a special part on the track where he was quicker than your car?
I don't know. Ask Martin. He was behind us. I don't know. I felt like our car turned the middle really good on the short runs, and I felt like I just had to park it in the center after a few laps, and just kept getting worse and worse, and had to overslow the corner, and just left myself really vulnerable to getting past. So I just tried to get as big a gap as I could possibly get to keep him back there, and unfortunately, wasn't enough. And I got real tight off 2 there 1 lap and gave away my gap. And after that, it was just hard to get him off my bumper once he was there.
We'll go to Bob.
Bob Huckers, ESPN. Was the battle with Hamlin and the contact any result from Martinsville, or if Martinsville never happened, do you race the same way?
Wise man once told me that he'll race guys how they race him, with a smile on his face. So that's what I did today. I raced him how he raced me, and that's the way I saw it. So that's about all I have to say.
So Wise man your father?
Doesn't matter.
Do we have any final questions for Chase? Follow-up from Bob, and then from Lee.
Was it is the more disappointing the win or not being able to go for the title?
Both. I mean, I don't know how you pick. When one means that you have an opportunity to do the other, then I'm not sure how you differentiate the two. But I don't know, just very, very disappointing, and I just hate that. I just hate so bad for my team. They've been so close to winning a handful of races the past couple years, and just like I told them after the race, at some point I got to figure out how to close better, and I take responsibility for that, and I feel like I gave it my all today, and we'll try to go to Homestead next week, finish the season as strong as we can, and then get ready to come at them next year as hard as possible.
We'll wrap up with Lee with Chase.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Sorry if this was asked already. I was upstairs, but can you take some solace in knowing that the support you have for the crowd is overwhelming? I mean, the only time they really, even at MRN, they were saying you would have thought Dale Jr. took the lead when you passed Kenseth that first time, and you get anything from that maybe you can take that with you going forward?
Yeah, man, it means a lot to me to have great support and great fans, and I want people to pull for whoever they want to pull for, and it be genuine. And if that's me, then I certainly will take all the help I can get. So I appreciate each and every one of the folks here that came out that had the right hats and shirts on, and even the ones that didn't. So happy to have them, and hopefully we can. I just want to make them proud someday, and try to do it today.
Chase, thanks for joining us today. And we are now going to be joined by the remaining 3 Championship 4 contenders who will race for the title in Miami next week. We have Brad Keselowski, driver of the number 2 Miller Lite Ford, Kyle Busch, driver of the number 18 M&M's Carmel Toyota, and Martin Truex Jr., driver of the number 78 Auto Owners Insurance Toyota. Brad, we'll just start down there at the end with you, and each of you guys just talk about what it means to run for the championship next week in Miami.
All right. I just feel glad to make it through the day. And have a shot next week. You never know how these things are going to play out. Certainly it would be a stretch by any means by how we ran today to say we're the favorite, but we are glad to be there, and you never know how those races are going to shake out. On to next week.
Yeah, I mean, today was not the prettiest of efforts on behalf of the 18 M&M's Caramel team, but overall we fought through it and did a good job of being able to get back in the pack, come back up through, and salvage a decent day. So unfortunately for last week we didn't have luck on our side. We had 2 flat tires while under caution, and that set us behind. And of course today we just kind of weren't all that great, so we were kind of behind today as well too. But these 2 don't necessarily matter. Since we won at Martinsville, we've had an opportunity to kind of focus forward, if you will, and so hopefully that'll go well for us, and we can get some solace out of these 2 weeks next week.
Yeah, definitely excited about the position we're in. to go to Homestead, and feel like we've got a lot of momentum. We've got a lot of consistency in our team, and doing all the right things right now. So excited for Homestead, and hopefully get down there and get our first championship. Ready to go.
All right, we're gonna open up to questions. We'll start up in the front with Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. With all you guys being so young, you can't understand what it must be like for Matt not leaving on his own terms. What do you think today getting the win and not just going out with a whimper means to him?
Who's that for? Who's it for?
Any of you. I mean, he's your teammate. I mean,
I think it's really cool to see. You know, I was really excited for him when he got the checker flag. Like, I was kind of cheering for him a little bit because I couldn't catch him. So I'm like, I'll go get, I was hoping he'd get to 24.
I think you were cheering.
I know Brad was cheering a lot, but no, he's such a, he's such a good guy, and he's done so much for the sport, and he's an awesome guy to be around, and just I know this year's been really tough on him. You can just see it, and you can tell when you talk to him. So to see him win that race was amazing, and to see him on his roof out there excited. I mean, you could see the excitement. So, definitely well deserved. He's worked hard this year, had a lot of crappy luck, and definitely good to see.
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything Martin said. I mean, being his teammate for the last few years and having the respect for him and everything that we've had out on the racetrack for as long as we've raced together, we've been able to never put a door to each other. So it's been awesome to have that, and as him and a teammate to work together the last few years. Like Martin said, he's been really down and frustrated and trying to figure out this season and what it's all about to go out there and to try to win in his final season, not on his own terms final season. So, I just think that was a huge opportunity for him. I think it shows that, there's no reason why he couldn't have gotten a job anywhere else. It's just, I guess, the industry didn't see Matt Kenseth as their driver, and that's really, really unfortunate because I love the guy and have raced with respect for him for a long, long time, and will forever respect him for what he's done for this sport.
We'll go in the back to Bob and then to Jerry.
Bob Hockris, ESPN. Brad, I asked Paul Wolf if he felt lucky, and he said he believes in karma, and he felt like that things were taken away from you guys at Martinsville, and kind of got the result today. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a big subscriber that takes speed, execution, and luck to win, and I think we probably had some really solid execution last week in Texas, great speed at Martinsville, and luck today. So, if you put all three of them together any given day, you can win. And, we haven't done that in this round, but we had one of each in all three races, and that put us in position to be here. So, I don't know. I mean, the karma word sure does seem to get thrown around a lot, and I'm not sure what the hell it means. But the reality is that this year we made it through this round, and I'm thankful for that, and hopeful that we can make it count next weekend.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires.net and PRN. Brad, for you, what was going through your head? You joked about pulling for Matt, but really, what was going through your head when Chase was leading and you were out there and knowing that was your shot to make it to Homestead?
Well, this is such an arrow track. I didn't think anybody would be able to run him down. Chase is pretty fast, and the track itself is kind of one groove, and I think a couple times it moved up on super long runs, but there wasn't a super long run there at the end. I think it was only 25, 30 laps. So I thought, quite honestly, that the race was over and that Chase was going to win. So I still don't know what happened, that Matt passed him. I was pretty busy with my own race, but, I kind of thought it was over and that the 24 was going to win.
We'll go to Christian and then Jeff.
Christian Coley on pitroad.com. Brad, your teammate's been in the championship for this elimination style at Homestead a couple of times. Do you feel like it's a disadvantage that you haven't been in this style of format at Homestead yet, or do you feel like it's kind of an even?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. I'm still hot and sweaty from Phoenix, so I think I'm just glad to be in it, and we'll have a great opportunity. I'm thankful for that. I'd like to be in it and probably have come off a couple races where we were the fastest car. It sure would make you feel good. But, where we're at and the way these formats go in single race like this, you just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's one race to determine a championship, and anything can happen. Shoot, anything happened today, and not that there wasn't as much on the line, but it certainly wasn't the championship. So you have no idea what's going to happen next week. And I think it's easy to read too much into it. It's easy to read not enough into it. And at the end of the day, I'm just going to get in a race car and drive it.
Go to Jeff.
From jeffgluck.com. Brad, after you won Talladega, you said Martinsville, you pretty much had to win it because you were down on speed. Then after Martinsville, you said that was pretty much our chance maybe. You come in here and don't have the best weekend. It's not looking good. And then you make it. Are you in some disbelief right now, or are you stunned at all?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just sometimes things happen that you just don't understand why, for good and for bad. You know, this year for us, I mean, obviously it wasn't for Denny or for Chase. It was good for us. I don't know. I don't know why things open up this way. I don't know why in the past 2 or 3 years the doors have closed in strange ways. You know, where you know, the last 3 years we've broken parts that should never break and been eliminated out of this whole format with much faster cars than we've had this year. So who's to say? It's just part of the ebbs and flows and how the racing smiles on you and frowns on you at times.
We'll go back to Bob.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Kyle, what have the last 2 races been like, knowing that you're in? Has it been stressful at all, and was it strange?
I mean, if we play it as though we weren't already in with the win, yeah, it was stressful, you know, but thankfully, you know, you can kind of just throw that out with the opportunity that we had because we won at Martinsville. With, you know, looking at our last 2 races and seeing that we had speed. Unfortunately, we had a flat before we even took off in Texas, and we started the race essentially 2 laps down, and then we were able to finally come back. But the damage to our car was too much to overcome there with restarting in the pack and with the field and with the fast guys. We just didn't have the speed to keep up with them. But we're fast by ourselves all alone. So, and then this week we just missed it for some reason. I thought we were really good in practice, and then in the race today we weren't even close. So, not sure what happened, but overall it was you know, nice to not have to worry about it too much. Like today, you know, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, man, we are falling back. Like if we were in position to win, we were certainly not doing a good job of executing today, and then we were able to come back and get a 7th. So. You know, it really didn't matter because we were through. So, you know, where the points would have been if we would have finished 2nd at Martinsville, who knows?
We'll go to Jerry and then back to Lee.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires.net and PRN again. Martin, your other 3 competitors for Homestead all have championships behind their name. You don't.
That means it's my turn.
That's what I was going to ask. How are you going to handle that pressure?
I don't think it's any extra pressure at all. I mean, I think it's I have a lot of respect for all 3 of these guys. You know, 2 of them were in the Final 4 when I made it in 2015. So, you know, definitely have a little bit of experience in this position. But, you know, honestly, just excited about the opportunity. This, you know, I feel like we're in a whole lot better spot as a team than we were the first time we had a shot at it. And, you know, we're going to go out there with just do the best job we can do. So I've got a lot of confidence in our team right now and what we're doing. And, you know, I think today was a perfect example of that for us. So, just keep doing what we're doing, go down to Miami and have fun and just try to do what we know how to do the best job we possibly can, and hopefully come out on top.
Go back to Lee.
Motorsport.com. Have you talked to Barney recently? And
I talked to him a few times this week.
And how's he doing? And is it possible he might get a reprieve for next Sunday?
He's doing good. He said he was not going to come to Homestead. I guess he already knows that. I don't know if they don't want him to travel or. You know, obviously, he has to get on a plane to go to Homestead. It's a long way, but he's doing. Huh?
Start now.
Yeah, he can start driving now, I guess. But yeah, he's doing really well. I've talked to him a few times. He actually got to go home Friday, so he is at home relaxing, and I'm sure I'll hear from him after the race here. I'll probably talk to him, see how he's doing, but he's in good spirits, and he said he's got very strong veins. And a lot of determination, and he's said he'll be back soon. He's excited about what we're doing, and he's glad the doctors found what was going on, and I think he'll be feeling a whole lot better going forward, which is always great.
Can you imagine your life without him in it? I mean, and I don't mean that in the bad sense. I mean, with the opportunity that he gave you and where you're at now, fighting for a championship next week.
I mean, it'd certainly be a lot different, I'm sure. The story for me and my career would be a lot different if it wasn't for him and his team and what he's built. And, just so proud of what he's done and so proud to be a part of, his team. And I feel like we've come so far together in just 4 years. It's really amazing. So just thankful and glad he's healthy and healing up, and he's going to be able to join us again at the racetrack pretty soon.
We'll go to Jenna.
Martin, I have two questions. One following up on what Lee was asking you. So is it a bummer that Barney's got this opportunity and he can't be there next week?
It's definitely a bummer. He thinks sometimes, for a long time, he thought he was bad luck because we only won when he was not here. So if we do win it next weekend and he's not there, he may never show up again. But no, I mean, in all honesty, we definitely wish he was there, but he'll be there in spirit. He's a huge part of this team, and everybody's got him on their mind, as the weekend goes on, as we're doing our jobs, and we know we wouldn't be here without him. So he means a ton to us, and we're going to try to go get this one for him.
My second question, Harvick was in here alone before you guys, and he said all the pressure's on you because you've been the best car.
That sounds like Harvick.
Yeah, so my question was, is he just trying to stir it up?
I don't know, but it doesn't work on me.
Okay.
I'm glad. If I'm the favorite, perfect. I like that. I think it's a better position to be in. I was the underdog before, and I finished 4th. So, yeah, bring it on.
Do we have any final questions for our Championship 4 drivers? All right, gentlemen, congratulations. We'll see you next week in Miami. All right, we're going to wrap up our media availabilities. For today's Can-Am 500 here at Phoenix Raceway, we are joined by our race-winning team, the number 20 Circle K Toyota. We have crew chief Jason Ratcliffe, driver in the middle Matt Kenseth, and then Coach Joe Gibbs, the car owner. Gentlemen, we're just going to let each of you guys talk about the finish of the race there and what this win means for you, and we'll start down there at the end with you, Jason.
Well, I mean, just on, you got me. Yeah, it means the world to me. I think. For us, we've been really close this season and just hadn't quite been able to put it all together and close the deal. Knowing that the situation where, Matt's going to go into a different season in his life, maybe in a few weeks, we were hoping that, hey, if we could get back to victory lane, that would be, it would be awesome. So to be able to come here, especially to Phoenix, which is, I think, one of Matt's favorite tracks as well as mine. We've always performed well here. So to come here and get a win, tops it off, kind of puts a exclamation point on the season for us.
Yeah, you want me to talk about the finish of the race? The finish was awesome. That was the best part of the race. That's all I got.
By the way, he's got one of the best senses of humor. You got to hang around with him a little bit to get it, though. It's pretty dry. Matt deserves this. It's just awesome today seeing him get this. All he's done for us here, the races that he's drove his heart out. Jason said it best. This year just hadn't, there's times that they've been there, but just hadn't been able to get it, to see him get it for his future and for his great family that he has. Just wishing him, man, I hope this does great things for him. So it's a thrill for us. The other thing is Circle K and DeWalt. Stanley Black & Decker is the main company there, but DeWalt is on that car. For Circle K, I think it's a new sponsor coming on board, signed on to be with Matt to get this win today. I was just calling the executives in that company, and everybody here knows how important it is to have a great sponsor. I think that sponsorship is going to be terrific going forward, and so it's a thrill for us to have DeWalt on there. Matt has raced earlier when he was with Roush with DeWalt. He comes back and races with them again. So it's a thrill for us. I wish that everybody, think about JD being home and Coy up here with me. But from our standpoint, I wished everybody back home could have been up here with us to enjoy this because so many people there working on the race cars. But we just all want to say a big thanks to Matt.
All right, we'll open it up to questions for our winning team. We'll start here with Bob, and then we'll work our way around.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Matt, when was the last time you cried before today?
Good posture, Bob. Before today? I wish you would have thrown that last part. I said 20 minutes ago. I don't know. I mean, I try never never to let anybody see me cry, but I'm kind of an emotional guy typically, honestly. I just try to hide it well. That's why I was sitting in the back row of the driver's meeting. Back pew at church. Hey, this is Bob's turn. If you could raise your hand, ask for the mic, and say your name and affiliation, we'd really appreciate you to follow the rules. Or we're going to find you and dock you 2 rows in here or something. Nah, I don't know, Bob. I mean, it's been, to be serious for about 2 minutes, I'll try. You know, it's just been quite a journey, and today was a really special day for me. You know, to know that next week is almost for sure my last week behind the wheel. You know, to be able to, you know, have such a long season and kick it off like this. And a lot of things I don't really understand, but, you know, I probably knew around August that it really wasn't meant for me to be racing anymore at this level, you know, going forward. So, you know, with that, I probably fought it for too long and, you know, kind of looked at different opportunities and thought about doing something different, but then just really embraced it. And not many people get to go out in really good cars and win races and have a chance to win a championship. And it's really a blessing to be able to go to work every day and work as hard as you can on it, put everything into it that you got, and finally get one here. We've had a lot of close ones ever since I felt like the snowball was here last fall. We were 10 seconds away from going to the championship 4 and caught that late caution and got wrecked in that restart. And ever since then, just it never feels like it's meant to be. And today it was definitely meant to be. We made it happen today. The guys made it happen on pit road and got me in front of Denny, which was a key moment of the race. And thankfully, I was able to get back around Chase there at the end. So it's a pretty special day, hard to describe.
We'll start down here on the front row along the glass. Mike, was it you or Dave? Mike.
Mike Embry, USA Today. Matt, you probably know more about how tires are going to react than most of the Goodyear people. Did you assume
that was a low blow?
did you
right
assume,
away you got to throw that little stab in there?
Did you assume that when Chase got around you that you would have the chance, at least a chance at getting back?
Well, I mean, honestly, when you know, the first few, you know, whenever you're leading, you get all them cautions. It just drives me crazy. And as you put cycles on, the car will act a little different. But every restart fired off, you know, pretty much the same. And I kind of knew what I wanted to do inside the car and where I wanted things to be set. And for whatever reason, that restart fired off really loose. And I just couldn't hold him off. And honestly, when he cleared me, I had that feeling of dread. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to let another one of these get away. We've just had so many close ones get away at the end of these races for you know, a multitude of reasons. So you know, so at that moment, no, but he got in front of me and it tightened my car up, and I was really able to get off turn 2 really well. And I saw him slip the first time. I was like, you know, he might start coming back. And then he slipped the second time, and I felt a little better about it. And then the third slip he had was a big one. I gained about 3 car lengths, and I kind of started, honestly, got the tingles from head to toe, and I knew it was on, and we were going to have a race. So I felt pretty good when I saw that last one. I was like, I'm at least going to get there, and we're going to have a race.
We'll go here to Dave and then Kathy, and we'll go back to Bob in the front row.
Dave Coleman, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Thanks for stopping by. I know you won 39 races now in the series. Daytona was a huge one, and I mean the first one in the Busch series was big. Is there any way to kind of rank where this one, given all the things, where this one is going to fit?
You know, I've never had a bad one. I mean, I can rank the losses a lot easier than the wins, to be honest with you, because I have way more losses than wins. I've screwed up a lot more of them than I've done right. But certainly just a special day. I mean, it's hard to rank it. I wish Katie and the kids could have been here. Is the only thing that would have made it better. But it was pretty neat, you know, to have a lot of your peers come and congratulate you, and even at the end to be able to drive by all the fans and could actually hear them yelling over the car and hear them in the window. I mean, it was just a really, really special day for a lot of reasons. It'll probably sink more in here in the next couple weeks. But you know, it's hard to rank them. They don't get much better than that, though.
Kathy Brown pitting outside the box. Congratulations.
That's a penalty too.
It is. Congratulations on your win today.
Yeah, but it depends.
It depends. Yes, it does.
I'm just kidding. Carry on.
Congratulating you on your win today, and our team won today. Go, Pack, go.
They did?
Yes, we did.
Oh, thanks for ruining it. I was going to watch it on TV. How'd they? I was going to say, how'd they win? And I remember they were playing the Bears.
That's right.
Jason's a Bears fan.
Expanding on when you got out of the car and you heard the crowd just going wild that you had won the race, did that surprise you in any way?
I don't know. I didn't have any expectations. You know what I mean? I just, you know, somewhat spontaneous, and I was pretty darn excited. So I was happy to be able to share the experience of getting that win. Obviously, with all the fans here, without the race fans, you know, we can't do it. You know, without the race fans, you know, buying our sponsors' products and supporting them, we certainly can't be, you know, at the racetrack. So it's they had another sold-out crowd today, which was awesome, and to be able to win it in front of them, and that was really neat.
We'll go to Brendan and then Bob, and then we'll start on the second row.
Matt, Brendan Mark, Charlotte Observer. Congrats again. You mentioned that a lot of guys were coming up and talking to you and telling you things. What were they saying to you, sort of, as a general theme? And was there anything in particular that any one person said that's kind of sticking with you?
Well, you know, everybody was happy except for Kyle Larson and Jamie McMurray. So I'm flying home with Jamie tonight. And so first thing I do, right, I was like, hey, Coach, you got a couple seats in your plane? So I get a ride home, and he says, no. So Jamie and Kyle are sitting there waiting on me right now, so I think everybody was, you know, I don't think they were very happy. No, I don't know, just, yeah, it was really neat. Chase came down, and Ryan Blaney and Kyle Count saw me in the finish line, so it's always neat, you know, when your peers come and congratulate you. It always makes you feel good.
We'll go to Bob, and then we'll come up here to Chris.
Bob McMahon in Arizona Republic. Congratulations on the win. I know you need a ride for this to happen, should something like that happen to occur, but does today's win make you want to rethink where next year is for you as a driver? Meaning, if something does open up, will you consider it?
I mean, it's not that there hasn't been any opportunities and nothing open. It's just nothing really felt right to me. And it's you know, throughout my, you know, career and my life, really, you kind of, there's certain things that you know is right, and things line up, and it's just kind of easy. And then there's things that you can fight, and at the end of the day, you know, it just wasn't the right thing. So if anything, it just you know, reaffirms, you know, my decision to step away next year. Honestly, I mean, like I said, there's not a lot of people that get to go out like this. So it was a special day, and I'm looking forward to next week, and hopefully trying to race them again one more time.
Go to Chris and then start down the line.
Chris Knight, CatchFence.com. Matt, after the race, Mario Andretti tweeted, if I had a NASCAR team, you'd be my driver. Will you check social media when you get a chance tonight to see what everybody said?
Absolutely not. I do not check social media. I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of people that say mean stuff and like to fight on there. So somebody told me anyway. Yeah, that's really neat, but I think he'd probably be crazy to own a race team, right, Coach?
Yes.
That's
easy
yeah.
answer.
I mean, one thing coaches always told me is the drivers are the ones who got it the best, and I can't really argue with them on that one.
I mean, do you really check? You don't get on social media at all?
No. Not at all.
And
Flip it up. There you go.
Yeah. And 6 of the last 7 races at Homestead, you finished inside the top 10. What's it about that track that suits your driving ability?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, you know, every racetrack starts with having fast race cars. I mean, obviously there's some that you're better at than others, but you know, when I came to JGR, some of my worst tracks turned into some of my best tracks. I mean, New Hampshire was my worst track. New Hampshire, Martinsville were my worst 2 tracks on the circuit, and they were probably 2 of my. New Hampshire was probably the best, and Martinsville was probably in the top 10. You know, so it's funny how it works. Just different things work. Texas used to be one of my best tracks, and for whatever reason, when Jason and I went there the first 3 years, we ran terrible. So I mean, it's hard to figure sometimes. But I feel like, you know, most of it starts with you know, the race car and how you can communicate to your crew chief and the crew, and kind of get that feeling what you're looking for, because you always know what that feeling is, what you're looking for. But a lot of times, as Jason can attest to, it's very difficult to get it to how you want it, or you know, get that translation over to try to get that feel.
Go ahead, Dominic.
Dominic Caragona with the RacingExperts.com. So if you win next week at Homestead, you become just the 3rd driver in NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series history to win in their final confirmed start. What would that mean to you?
Well, since this is the first time we've won in about 80 races or something, you know, the odds are we're probably not going to win next week, but I hope we do. We're going to work really hard at it, and hope we can get one more. I love the racetrack. It's one of the best tracks on the circuit since they reconfigured it. It puts on a great show, but there's a lot that goes on next week. It's a very hard race to predict what's going to happen, but you know, I don't see why we won't be competitive when we go down there, and hopefully we'll have a shot at one more.
John Haverland with ESPN Albuquerque.
Matt, is there any feeling that like, oh damn, like man, I wish this was still kind of last year? Like, not to dampen your mood right now. I know you're happy, but like as a competitor, you're always like looking for more. Is there any kind of feeling like, man, I wish this were still last year, or I'd be going to the Final Four?
Well, I mean, you'd always wish that you're in the four cars at Homestead have a chance for a championship. We've never quite had that happen, but we've had a few years. We certainly ran good enough to do it, and just circumstances got us last year, But you have 3 chances every round to get in, and last year we just never quite made it. We had a shot at Martinsville. We ran spectacular at Martinsville, and just the way it worked out at the end, we didn't. It was just kind of a weird ending. It didn't work out with an untimely caution, and the same thing here. We had to race 1 and got a caution when I was going into turn 3 coming to the white. So sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
And just one follow-up. Last year after the race, you told me that the car that you had last year was the best car you ever had at Phoenix. Does this car match that, or is it better? Just where does it rank compared to last year?
Yeah, Phoenix is a really confusing place for me. So, we can go from being pretty competitive to running really bad. And it's always hard for me to figure out. Jason and I were talking about that yesterday. Last fall we had a car that was going to win a race. And this spring I feel like we ran just horrible. Ended up blowing a tire, I think, and not finishing. And this time we came back, and the first lap of happy hour practice, I knew we had a good car. We had to feel that I wanted, and it turned good, and it kind of did all the things you wanted to do at Phoenix. It was real close. It just needed some fine adjustments. So it's a hard place for me to figure out, how to communicate to get, what I want. It's just a real finicky track, real small window, I feel like.
We'll go in the back to Bob, then we'll go up to the press box, and then to Jim.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Jason, is this at all as emotional for you as it is for Matt? And do you know what you're doing next year? If you do, can you tell us?
I can't tell you, but I do know. I think you'll know in a few days. Yes, it's very emotional. I told someone earlier, we left here last year. It's probably the lowest point in my career, knowing that if we could have just finished the race, obviously won it, we would have been one of the 4 going to Homestead, and then 365 days later come back and maybe create probably, I would say for sure, the highlight of my career to this point. So it's a very emotional win to be able. We've had the last 5 years have been just spectacular. We've had some really good wins, some great seasons, a lot of highlight reels, but I think this one tops it for sure.
We'll go up to the press box for a question.
Yeah, one question for Matt. First of all, congratulations. Wolfgang Monse, Rennsport Press Agency from Germany. Matt, in case somebody has not asked this question, I would like to ask you, in long-term future, is team ownership an option for you?
I really hate to say this, but I don't understand a word you said except for Matt.
He was asking
team ownership for me?
Team ownership.
No, no possible way. 0% chance.
Front to Jim. We'll come back.
Jim Utter, motorsport.com. Matt, I was wondering, it seems the thing that you've had trouble coming to terms with is the fact that you could still, as you proved today, win races and contend for a championship, but you seem to have come to peace with it of late. Did it take a while for that to happen, and was there anything in particular that made you come to kind of accept that?
Well, I mean, I really feel like I got a few years left. I really do. I mean, I feel like I can get it done on the track when we get everything right. I feel like I can win races and run for championships. But with that being said, you have to have the supporting cast. You got to have the cars. You got to have the team. You got to have the sponsor. You got to have the manufacturer. And I got all that where I'm at right now. And there's not an opportunity to continue to race here. And then, I think the next, ride, I had a couple open cars. That's always been a very competitive team, and they both got filled as well. And I didn't get that opportunity as well. So I think once I got to there and really started weighing out, what do you want? What's important to you? I think I came to terms with it and accepted it and try to embrace what's next. I'm just not. There's a lot of great cars out there. There's a lot of great teams, a lot of great people. But I've been pretty blessed my whole career to be in really good cars with really good people and cars that could win races on any given week. I mean, we went through some years where we couldn't, but most years that in my whole entire career, I've had cars that if we did everything right, we could win. And, I've been racing long enough where I don't want to do anything else except for that. So if I can't not be in a situation that feels right and feels like I can go out and win races and contend for a championship, I'd rather not do it.
We'll go to Lee.
Lee Spencer, Motorsport.com. Congratulations, champ.
Thank you.
Wisconsin, the upper Midwest, it's such a rich area for short track racing. You think just for giggles, if you don't do anything here, you'll put together a late model car and have some fun?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't have any plans right now except for to try to go race some hard next week, try to get another win, get through the banquet and Thanksgiving time, have another baby, and kind of catch my breath and see what's going on.
Questions for a race winner. Up here to Dave.
Jason, how much did you guys tweak on the car throughout the race?
You know, we did. What's that? Matt said it's a secret. I can't tell you. Occasionally over the last 5 years, we'll have a Saturday practice like the one we had yesterday where Matt comes in. He never uses the word perfect, but occasionally he'll say, "Man, yeah, okay, thanks." Man, the entry's pretty good. It turns pretty good. The exit, he almost said perfect yesterday. Occasionally you'll get one of those. So I knew when we left here last night, we came in this morning, we didn't do anything really to speak of. And throughout the race, the pit box was, we were pretty much spectators. We didn't do much. The pit crew did a great job all day. We adjusted on air pressure a little bit, put a quarter round in the right rear twice. And that was about it. It's a good car start to finish.
We'll wrap up with Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and PRN. Matt, I hate to pick apart your words, but when you listen to what you've said here tonight, don't.
Well, if you hate to, I hate to have
but
you
you said you want to compete for championships. You said at this level. Is there a possibility that we'll see you in Xfinity or trucks or something like that competing for a championship down there?
I would say probably not. You never say never. You never know what the future brings. We had a whole year-long retirement tour for Jeff, and he started racing early. Oh, boy. They might have broke some of Coach's rules. Must have went through the LIS. When it goes through the LIS, this is what crew guys look like. Thanks, Mikey. Just in time, too. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'll miss most of you.